She walked into the audition with shaking hands and a broken heart. The prize money was her only chance to save her dying child. But when she looked at the judge's table, her world stopped. Because the face she saw was someone she never expected. And what happened next changed everything. Stay tuned, because you are about to watch a beautiful story and find out how it ended. Hello family, welcome to Tales by King. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more beautiful stories. Thank you as you do so. Sit back, relax as we dive into the story. The rain fell softly as Mara Johnson stood outside the tall glass building in the middle of the city. People rushed past her, holding umbrellas, laughing, checking their phones. But Mara stood still, frozen in fear. Above the door, a bright banner moved in the wind. City Star Talent Audition, Grand Prize, $50,000. Mara stared at the words as if they could change her life. Her hands trembled as she held her small, old bag close to her chest. Inside the bag were only two things. A pair of worn-out dance shoes. A folded hospital report. She slowly pulled out the paper and looked at it again, even though she had already read it many times. Patient, Lila Johnson. Age 6. Condition, serious heart defect. Required, urgent surgery. Her eyes filled with tears. Just that morning, she had been sitting beside Lila's hospital bed. The room smelled of medicine and sadness. Machines beeped softly. Lila's small body looked too weak for her age. "Mama," Lila whispered, touching Mara's hand. "Will I be okay?" Mara forced a smile. "Yes, my love," she said. "You will dance with me again soon." But when she turned away, she cried silently. The doctor had spoken gently, but his words were heavy. If we don't operate soon, her heart may fail. The cost was too high. Mara was a single mother. Her husband had left years ago. She had no family to help her. She cleaned offices at night and sold food by the roadside in the morning. Her body was always tired. Her hands were rough. Her feet were always sore. Yet, the money was never enough. One evening, while sitting outside the hospital, she saw a poster on the wall. City Star Talent Audition. Winner takes $50,000. She laughed in pain. "Me? A dancer," she whispered. She had not danced since her youth. Life had taken her dreams away. But when she looked at Lila sleeping weakly, something changed. "This is my only chance," she said. That night, in their small room, Mara pushed the table aside and practiced. She danced slowly at first, then with more strength. Tears fell as she moved. Every step was for Lila. Every turn was a prayer. Now, she stood at the door of the audition hall. Fear tried to stop her. What if they laugh at me? What if I fail? She closed her eyes. "God," she whispered, "please help me. I am doing this for my child." She straightened her dress, took a deep breath, and walked inside. She did not know yet that behind the judge's table sat a man who would change her life forever. Edwin. Mara stepped fully into the audition hall, and the noise of the outside world disappeared behind her. The room was wide and bright. Strong lights hung from the ceiling. A large stage stood at the front. Chairs filled the space, and people sat everywhere, stretching, laughing, checking mirrors, practicing dance steps. Music played softly in the background. Mara felt small among them. Most of the dancers were young and confident. They wore shining clothes, fresh shoes, and bright smiles. Some had friends cheering them on. Others had trainers fixing their posture. Mara stood near the wall, holding her bag tightly. Her heart beat faster with every second. She walked to the registration table. A lady looked up. "Name?" "Mara Johnson," she said softly. The lady typed and handed her a small white card. "Number 27. Mara stared at it like it was her destiny. She found a seat near the back and whispered, "This is for you, Lila." One by one, contestants were called. Some dances were powerful. Some were funny. Some made the judges clap loudly. Each performance made Mara more nervous. "What am I doing here?" she thought. "I am not like them." Then the voice called. "Contestant number 27. Mara stood slowly. Her legs felt weak, but she forced herself forward. The bright stage lights blinded her at first. She could not see clearly. Then her eyes adjusted. She looked toward the judge's table, and her heart stopped. In the middle seat sat a tall man in a dark suit. His hair was neatly cut. His face looked older, but familiar. Edwin Cole, the man who once loved her. The man who promised her a future. The man who left her when life became hard. Mara's breath caught in her throat. "Edwin," she whispered. At the same moment, Edwin leaned forward. His eyes widened. "Mara," he said under his breath. The other judges noticed his reaction, but did not understand. Time felt frozen. Mara wanted to run away. But then she remembered Lila's weak smile. She closed her eyes. The music started. Slow. Emotional. Deep. Mara moved. She danced with her pain. She danced with her hope. She danced with her fear. Tears fell as she turned and lifted her arms. The room became silent. Even Edwin could not look away. When the music stopped, the hall stood still. And nothing would ever be the same again. For a moment after Mara's music stopped, the whole hall stayed quiet. No clapping. No shouting. Just silence. Mara stood at the center of the stage, breathing hard. Her chest rose and felt like she had been running for miles. Her hands trembled at her sides. She could feel hundreds of eyes on her, but she did not look up. She only bowed slightly, the way she used to when she danced in school. Then a soft clap sounded from somewhere in the crowd. One person. Then two. Suddenly, the hall exploded. People stood up, clapping loudly. Some whistled. Some screamed her number. That was real, someone shouted. Mara blinked, shocked. She did not expect praise. She expected laughter. She expected rejection. At the judge's table, the female judge on the left leaned forward. She's not trained, she whispered, but she told a story with her body. The judge on the right nodded. I felt it, he said. She danced like she was fighting for something. But Edwin Cole did not speak. He sat as if someone had poured ice water on him. His eyes stayed on Mara, wide and heavy. His lips were slightly open, but no words came out. It did not look like he was judging her dance. It looked like he was seeing a ghost. Mara forced herself to turn away from the lights and walk off the stage. Her knees were weak. She almost stumbled, but she held herself together. Breathe, she whispered to herself. Just breathe. You came here for Lila. She walked toward the back, hoping to sit quietly and leave soon. But before she could reach her seat, a staff member approached her quickly. Excuse me, ma'am, he said politely. Contestant 27? Mara nodded, her heart tightening again. One of the judges wants to speak with you backstage, he said. Please come with me. Mara already knew who. Her fingers tightened around her small bag as she followed the staff member through a side door. The hallway behind the stage was less bright. It smelled like makeup powder and sweat. Voices echoed from dressing rooms. Mara's stomach twisted. They stopped in front of a door. The staff member knocked once, opened it, and stepped aside. Mara entered. The door closed behind her. Edwin was inside. He stood near a small table with bottled water on it. His suit was perfect, but his face was not. His eyes looked troubled, like he had been fighting something inside himself for years. For a long moment, they did not speak. It felt like the air between them was too heavy. Edwin finally broke the silence. Mara, he said slowly, his voice low. It's really you. Mara looked down. Yes, she replied. Edwin took a step forward, then stopped, like he was afraid she might run. I thought you were gone, he said. After that day. I never saw you again. Mara lifted her eyes, and pain showed clearly in them. You left, she said simply. Edwin's throat moved as he swallowed hard. I know, he whispered. And I regret it. Mara's lips trembled, but she forced her voice to stay calm. You're a judge now, she said. A big man. You have everything. So why call me here? Edwin's eyes searched her face. Because I saw you on that stage, he said. And I knew something was wrong. Mara, why are you here? Mara felt her heart squeeze. She tried to speak, but the words did not come out quickly. It was hard to say it aloud because saying it made it real. Finally, she opened her bag with shaking fingers. She removed the folded hospital report. Edwin's eyes followed the paper like it was a weapon. She handed it to him. Edwin took it carefully and opened it. At first, his face showed confusion. Then his brows pulled together. Then his eyes widened slowly. The more he read, the more the color left his face. What? He whispered. What is this? Mara's voice came out small. My daughter is sick. Edwin looked up sharply. Your daughter, he repeated. Mara nodded. She's at Mercy Hope Hospital, Mara continued. She has a heart problem. The doctor said she needs surgery urgently. Edwin looked down at the paper again, then up at Mara, like his mind was struggling to accept the truth. How old is she? He asked very slowly. Mara's eyes filled with tears again, but she did not wipe them this time. She's 6, she said. Edwin froze. His fingers tightened on the paper. 6, he repeated in a broken whisper. Mara nodded again, once. Edwin's lips opened and closed, but nothing came out. His eyes became red, as if his body wanted to cry before his pride allowed it. Then he asked the question like it was the hardest thing he had ever said. "Mara," he breathed. "Is she mine?" Mara's chest rose sharply. "Yes," she answered. "She is yours." Edwin stumbled backward like someone pushed him. "No," he whispered. "No, that can't be." Mara's pain rose, and her voice shook now. "You walked away before I could tell you," she cried softly. "Edwin, you didn't even let me explain. You changed your number. You blocked me. I had no way to reach you." Her tears dropped onto her shirt. "I suffered," she continued. "I carried the pregnancy alone. I gave birth alone. I raised her alone." Edwin's eyes were full of shock and shame. "I didn't know," he said quickly. "I swear to you, I didn't know. Mara, I thought you hated me. I thought you wanted nothing to do with me." Mara laughed bitterly through tears. "Hate," she repeated. "Edwin, I was just trying to survive." Edwin slowly lowered himself into a chair, as if his legs could no longer hold him. He covered his face with one hand. His shoulders shook. Then the strong Edwin Cole, the rich businessman, the confident judge, began to cry. "I've lost 6 years," he whispered. 6 years of my child's life." Mara stood in silence, her heart hurting in a different way now. Edwin removed his hand from his face and looked up at her. "Tell me her name," he begged. Mara swallowed. "Lila," she said. Edwin whispered it like a prayer. "Lila." He stood up quickly, wiping his tears, his voice suddenly changing from broken to determined. "Take me to her," he said. "Right now." Mara stared at him, shocked. You want to see her?" she asked. "Yes," Edwin said firmly. "And I'm not leaving until I do." Mara's fear returned. Fear of hope. Fear of being disappointed again. "I came here to win the prize money," she said carefully. "If I don't win—" "You won't need the prize," Edwin interrupted. He stepped closer, his voice steady. "I will pay for her surgery," he said. "All of it. Every bill. Every test. Everything." Mara's eyes widened. That kind of help felt impossible. But she had learned that promises could break. "You can't just say that," she whispered. "People say things when they feel guilty, then they disappear." Edwin shook his head hard. "I will not disappear," he said. "Not this time. I don't care what it costs, Mara. That is my daughter." He took out his phone immediately. "Tell me the doctor's name," he said, already dialing. "And the hospital number." Mara slowly spoke, still shaking inside. Edwin placed the call. "Hello," he said into the phone, his voice sharp and urgent. "This is Edwin Cole. I need to speak with the hospital director immediately." Mara watched him, and for the first time since Lila got sick, a small light of hope tried to enter her heart. But a quiet fear still whispered inside her. Is Edwin truly here to save them, or is this only a moment that will pass? Mara stood quietly as Edwin spoke on the phone. His voice was calm, but it carried power, like a man who was used to getting answers fast. "Yes," Edwin said into the phone. "I understand. Put the director on the line. Right now." He paced once, then stopped. His jaw was tight. His eyes looked angry, but not at Mara. Angry at time. Angry at the pain he had missed. Mara's fingers squeezed the strap of her bag until her knuckles turned white. She wanted to believe him, but her heart had been disappointed too many times. After a short moment, Edwin's voice became softer. "Thank you," he said. "Yes, I'll hold." He covered the phone and looked at Mara. "Why didn't you come to my office?" he asked quietly. "Or send someone to reach me?" Mara's eyes flashed with hurt. "I tried," she said. "I tried for weeks. I called your old number until it stopped working. I went to the place where you lived. The gatekeeper told me you moved. I even wrote a letter. It came back." She swallowed. "And after that, I was pregnant, alone, and scared. I had to focus on surviving." Edwin's face tightened with shame. "I was foolish," he whispered. "I listened to lies. I ran away like a coward." Mara did not answer. She didn't want apologies. She wanted a living child. Edwin's phone suddenly clicked. He straightened. "Yes, hello," he said quickly. "Director Hayes? Good afternoon. This is Edwin Cole." Mara's heart jumped. Edwin spoke clearly, like every second mattered. "There is a child in your hospital, Lila Johnson," he said. "She needs heart surgery urgently. I'm taking full responsibility for her care. I want the best surgeon available, and I want the full bill sent to my office today." A pause. Edwin listened, his face hard. Mara could only hear small bits of the response, but she saw Edwin's expression change. "What do you mean there is a waiting list?" Edwin demanded. Director, with respect, she does not have time. Another pause. Edwin's eyes narrowed. I understand hospital rules, he said, calmer now but firm. Then bend them for a dying child. Make space. Move schedules. Call in extra hands if you must. Mara's breath caught. The word dying hit her like a slap. Edwin continued, his voice sharper. Money is not the problem. Tell me what you need. I will provide it. He listened again. His shoulders relaxed a little. Yes, he said. Good. Schedule it. Tonight, if possible. Tomorrow morning at the latest. I will be there. He ended the call and turned to Mara. It's happening, he said. They will move her case forward. The surgeon will meet us within the next few hours. Mara stared at him. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. After all the begging, all the crying, all the sleepless nights. Was this really happening? Her knees weakened, and she quickly held the edge of the table. Edwin stepped closer. Mara, he said gently, breathe. She will be okay. Mara shook her head slowly. You don't understand, she whispered. I have heard she will be okay too many times. Her voice cracked. I have watched my child struggle to breathe. I have watched her pretend to smile for me. I have watched her hold her chest like it hurts. And each time the doctors say soon, but soon never comes. Edwin's eyes filled with tears again. I'm here now, he said. And I'm not leaving. Mara looked at him, searching his face for any sign of falsehood. But what she saw was fear, real fear, like a man who had just found out he could lose something precious. Before Mara could respond, there was a knock on the door. A staff member poked her head in. Mr. Cole, she said respectfully, they are ready to announce the results. The audience is waiting. The cameras too. Mara's heart jumped again. The results, she whispered. Edwin looked at her. You should be there, he said. Mara's throat tightened. I don't care about winning, she said honestly. I only care about my daughter. Edwin nodded. And that is exactly why you deserve to win, he replied. He opened the door and gently guided her out. They walked through the hallway back to the stage. Mara's steps felt heavy. Her mind was spinning with too many thoughts. Lila, surgery. Edwin, the past, the future. When they entered the hall, the crowd was louder than before. People were excited. Phones were raised. Everyone wanted to record the winner. The host smiled brightly on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, thank you for waiting. Our judges have made their decision. Mara stood at the side of the stage, her hands shaking. Edwin stood beside her, calm but watchful. The host opened the envelope slowly. Mara could barely hear her breathing. And the winner of City Star Talent is. The host paused, building suspense. Mara's heart almost stopped. Contestant number 27, Mara Johnson. The hall exploded. Mara froze, shocked. Edwin turned toward her, and for the first time since she entered the building, she saw a small smile on his face, soft, proud, and full of something she couldn't name. Mara stepped forward slowly, like she was walking in a dream. The crowd clapped and cheered as she reached the center of the stage. But just as she was about to take the microphone, her phone buzzed inside her bag. Mara's breath stopped. She quickly looked at the screen. Mercy Hope Hospital calling. Her hands shook harder. Because deep inside her she knew. A hospital call at this moment could mean only two things. A miracle or a disaster. Mara's hands shook as she stared at her phone. The hall was still loud with cheers, but the sound felt far away. Mercy Hope Hospital calling. Her heart dropped. She stepped back from the microphone. Edwin noticed at once. What is it? He asked softly. Mara showed him the screen. His face changed. Answer, he said. I'm here. Mara pressed the call button with trembling fingers. Hello, she whispered. Mara Johnson, a calm voice said. This is Nurse Helen from Mercy Hope Hospital. Please don't panic. Mara closed her eyes. Yes, I'm here. There has been a change, the nurse said. Your daughter's condition became unstable a few minutes ago. The doctors are preparing her for emergency surgery. Mara felt the world spin. Her knees weakened. Edwin quickly held her. She needs us now, he said firmly. Mara nodded, tears running freely. She did not care about the stage, the cameras, or the prize anymore. She only cared about Lila. Edwin spoke to the host quietly and explained. The host looked shocked but understanding. She turned to the audience. Our winner has a family emergency, she announced gently. Please keep her in your prayers. The crowd fell silent. Some people began to clap softly. Mara and Edwin rushed out. At the hospital, the smell of medicine filled the air. Mara ran through the hallway, her heart pounding. They found Lila's room. She was pale, weak, surrounded by nurses. "Mama," Lila whispered when she saw her. Mara held her small hand. "I'm here, my angel," she cried. Edwin stood close, his eyes full of fear and love. The doctor arrived. "We must operate now," he said. Mara kissed Lila's forehead. "You are strong," she whispered. "You will dance again." The doors closed. Hours passed like years. Mara sat with her head in her hands. Edwin stayed beside her, never leaving. Finally, the doctor came out, smiling. "The surgery was successful," he said. "She will recover." Mara broke into tears of joy. She hugged Edwin tightly. Weeks later, Lila ran across the hospital garden laughing. Mara watched her, her heart full. Edwin walked beside her. "I know I hurt you before," he said, "but I want to make things right." Mara looked at him. "Then stay," she said. "I will," Edwin replied. "Forever." They held hands as Lila ran back to them. And in that moment, Mara finally understood. Sometimes, when everything feels lost, hope arrives when you least expect it. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you find this story worth watching. If you do, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more beautiful stories, like, comment, and share this video to your friends and loved ones. Your support and engagement encourage me to post more videos. Thanks for watching.